Hi guys, it's Mama Meadow. I'm sitting outside therapy like always. No, just on Tuesdays and Thursdays this week. Hopefully the rest of the weeks too, I don't know yet. But yeah, so we are going to be starting whatever Emdr therapy today about last year, what happened with Justin. And I'm freaking out, very shaky, and anxiety's through the roof. But we'll see how it goes. I will be back. Just, yeah, it's gonna be rough, I think. Hopefully not. I don't want to think the worst, but I'm starting to. Wish me luck. Hi, it's Mama Meadow. So, had therapy earlier today. We did the EMDR. We focused on the before everything happened. So, it was rough. But today, instead of doing the hands, we ended up doing tapping. So she used like a wand kind of, and I closed my eyes and she just tapped on my knees for a certain amount of time until however many seconds she counts, and while I focused on everything that led up to Justin doing what he did. So we did that, and the focus was on any type of like responsibility I felt, or I guess things that I could have if I could have prevented it. I still struggle with guilt in all areas. A lot of blame was put on me from others, and that's how some people, I guess, deal with things. They don't know what to do, so they just put the blame on whoever they can. And so I basically came to the conclusion during the EMDR today that a lot of it was just from family who was blaming me. And, looking back and going over everything that led up to it happening, was there some things I could have done differently? Yes. Were there things that I did try to do to help that I realize now that I can think back about certain times that things were going on, and what I did to try to do what I could to make him happy, and just try to do anything I could. I don't know. It was a really hard session. I'll just say that. Now I feel it's working. I mean, I was crying. I don't cry in therapy. I think I've mentioned that, but there was a lot of crying today. I had to recognize also what my body felt like. So any type of things that were going on. I was basically just describing, my chest was hurting really bad. I would get very nauseous. I thought I was going to vomit a few times during the session, which I guess is normal. Just a lot of it was just a lot of physical reactions, or emotions, I guess, but a lot of anxiety over it. I ended up being okay. I went from being at a 10 to a 4.5, I think is what we decided today. But I was able to switch my thinking somewhat to a more logical thinking on things, on what more could I have really done type of deal. Do I still feel like I could have done something more? Yes, of course I do. Do I still feel that I should have done things different, gone about things differently with him and us and everything that month leading up to it? Of course. I think I'm always going to have that. But to process it today and go over it all in my head and visualize it all again, it was helpful. I think it did help me think about it differently, for sure. So we did one of the 4 categories of this whole deal we're going to be doing. I think we're done with it, but kind of gonna have to see on Thursday what she thinks because I didn't get down to a 0, and that's probably what she wants, but we'll see. But either way, I will say that the tapping works a lot better than having to track the hands and stuff. That was too distracting for me. I kept losing her fingers when she was doing it, and felt like I was overthinking on, am I even following right now? Even if I was, I felt like I wasn't. And then I had more time to space off and just not really focus in on what I was supposed to be processing. So yeah, this whole closing my eyes and the tapping on my knees was a lot easier, but the whole deal itself was rough. And I've been very anxious today. But I will say that, sorry, my daughter's supposed to be home soon. I will say that, though, once again, people cross your path for a reason. Whether they need you at that moment or you need them. And today was a little bit of both. I was at Dollar Tree, and there was this little old lady, 87, a grandma. She was, and a mother. She was getting stuff to make a bouquet of flowers and stuff for her son's gravesite. And she wanted help, and I was helping her figure out what she needed, the supplies for this or that. Then we just started talking, and she was sharing her story all about how she just lost her son, and about, sorry, I don't know, okay, sorry, her son passed, and so they were doing it for his, and then we were just talking, and then I started talking about my grandparents for some reason, and it turned into her talking about how, oh, you must be really close with them. And I was like, yes, I am very, very close with my grandparents. And it sucks that they moved to Wisconsin because I don't see them enough, but it is what it is, and I will see them this summer. But anyway, she asked how old I was. I told her she just also lost her granddaughter. She had turned 26, and they just did a celebration of her life last week, I guess. She lost her granddaughter. They were extremely close. Sounds just like me and my grandma. She was crying, but basically came down to it was drugs and overdose. And it was, it's sad. It's very sad. And to see how it's affected her, and the point of it was, though, that I've been blamed for what Justin did. And, that's been hard. It's been a big part of it, I would say. Having that put in your head that being called a murderer, when you didn't do it, but just the fact that you didn't do anything when there really wasn't anything that I could have done at that moment. I did what I could, and I'm still trying to put that in my own head and push out the bad. But regardless, this lady was telling me how her family, not her, Russ' family, they blame the granddaughter's boyfriend. And, how she's like, it wasn't his fault. He didn't even do that, and he was the one that was there and found her or whatever it was. But he didn't do drugs. He didn't make her. He didn't make her do anything. And that's the thing. People want to find someone to blame. And it's not fair because you messed that person up. And whoever he is, I hope he's okay. Because that's not easy. And either way, it was just crazy, once again, running into someone and them sharing their life with me, their story, and getting to just talk, and get some things out. And I was that person for her today, but she also helped me a little bit too. And that's what we need to do. We need to be there for each other. We need to be friendly and kind and open and just talk. Make that person's day. Make anyone's day. Anyone you can. Just try. Okay, I'm done for now. I'll have a video on Thursday. And hopefully it's a little more exciting than this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you guys have a beautiful day. Bye.